I advise my clients not to sign on the dotted line today on closing day of their home. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Here's some story time. So there was a heating element in the addition of the property. So this is a townhome. There was an addition put on, and specifically a gas stove that was in it. If you're familiar with like a pellet stove or a wood stove, very similar, and a gas line through the house, just like it would feed the oven, the furnace, the water heater fed this stove. We could not get it on for the life of us. Now, you might not think it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure it's not hard to replace or figure out, but these suckers can be expensive. They can be anywhere from like $2,000 to $6,000, not including install, especially on the kind that you pick. This one was around a $3,000 stove, so it wasn't top of the line, but it's nice. And as a first-time home buyer, that is not an expense you want to have to worry about, especially when you think this thing is working. What's really important to know is that if there is not a heating element feeding the additional space, per an appraiser, per the market value of what they purchased their home at, it cannot be considered appraisable space. In order for it to be considered appraisable space, you have to have a heating element in this space, whether that's ductwork from your furnace going there, or a pellet stove, or a wood stove, or in this case a gas stove. If this thing did not work, then this additional square footage that tied into their market value of what they paid for this house should be considered null and void. They would have paid less for this house. So this is compromising the financial integrity of what they purchased. So as their realtor, I'm thinking, we need to get this sucker working. Otherwise, why would you sign for something that you didn't purchase? Unless, and I gave them this option, you want to eat the money. If you want to eat it, that's your choice. I will protect you and give you my advice all day long, but I will support you in what you choose. Of course, they chose that they want this either fixed or they want the money for. The solutions for this heating element are as follows. Number one, they can eat the cost. They can choose to just sign on the dotted line and figure it out later. Obviously, that's not what they wanted. Number two, you can hold escrow. You can say, okay, I am willing to assess that it could be potentially X dollar amount. And in this situation, we assessed $3,000. We found a replaceable one for $2,600, and install would come to $3,000. Then the sellers would have to agree to hold that money in escrow through the title company, and we would come to certain terms where we would get this fixed within a certain period of time, and any work that needed to be done in this period of time in order to fix it would come out of that money, and or be fully replaced with that money, and or if nothing had to be fixed, then the remainder of that balance or the full balance would go back to the sellers. And then solution number three is just to not sign at all until they fix it and prove that it's good, and we schedule closing for another day. So what did my clients decide to do?